that's more than enough time I usually give to character creations. Like I just make a character and move on with life, but that was more than I ever dedicated into any character creation section of any game, and it's already later than I thought it'd be. Been there for 41 minutes. It's been 41 minutes. No way. Hi there. The Spectre. Everything about the spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pulled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they're more like shadows now. Look, I bet you've got a lot of questions. This whole place is your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out of there and finish the process. He shrugs. It shouldn't be too hard. You know, it's hunting. You know what that was? Well, it was, you said I had a friendship problem. What do you mean by that? Who are the other people? He called them reflections. If this faces my mind, why don't I remember any of this? Who any of you? Who are you? How do you know all this? Are you, what, how all that you're telling me? What is this? After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you need to find something called a resonance. Oh dear. You need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that and everything will be fine. That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why. It just happens. It's your mind, a construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts, store your true self. Wait. You know how people say, in the first place? This is definitely the first place of your memory. Well, it was the first place for me anyway. You probably have no better since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it'll come to you later. He pauses and looks down at himself, considering a long time before answering. I'm you. I'm a part of your mind. A splinter. I was waiting here for you. We called you with the memories of the others who are here. I don't know what happened next. He throws up his hands in frustrations. I'm just a part of you. I look at you and I know. This place was made for you, for us. And I remember pieces of knowledge that come to me when you ask your questions. But that's all. Tides are like a force. Like gravity or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is. Your body in the real world needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. He closes his eyes. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's The sorrow. He closes his eyes. I hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. I remember pieces about it, but not the whole the crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it and a metal ring set in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. But when you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. There's a portal down there. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it, and the whole tides thing should take care of itself. He crosses his arms. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What in the hell is that? Cthulhu! Oh. The sorrow is anchored to those reflections. It's devouring their power. We gotta get rid of them. Destroy its anchors, or a sorrow will erase it forever. Wait, what? What? The card begins when you enter into dangerous situation. Crisis are turn-based encounters where you fight, sneak, manipulate an environment, and attack your way out of trouble. Each turn you take one action to attack or an ability. You can also make one move. What is that noise? Use to move the reticle at the center of the screen, then exit into position or attack. Effort can be applied to the attacks to increase your chance to hit, and as with other tasks, each level of effort increases your chance by 20%. That costs up 1 point from the stat pool. Your unarmed attacks can use speed, but with other weapons, use might or intellect instead. Oh. What about you, Mr. Other Me? Yes, what's your actions for the turn to double move instead of attacking? The movement preview line. What? You can sacrifice your action for the turn to double move instead of attacking. The movement preview line turns purple when over a position that requires double movement. What? Oh.
Yes, now.
Because it wants me to do increased damage. You will need to enter the next turn to deal.
Yes.
Infecting it? Fairly temporary conditions or side effects that can improve or reduce a character's stats. If sorrow has just placed a fetal on a remaining reflection, you can't remove this fetal, but you may find a way to overcome it. Me too. Too hard. Find a way even harder. Realizing I killed the reflection. Oh. Cup mute.
Yes.
Wait, what? I'm so angry. Wait, what?
Go.
I'm so angry. Press R2 to bring up the Iron's radio menu. Press X to select it. Heal 3. Okay. You try to lose attending is a cancer and infection is unstoppable, but you stopped it. He holds his head in his hands. I can't believe it found us in here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing, the sorrow, it's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you until you activate the residence chamber. I didn't remember until I saw it. But that's why the chamber is so important. You have to get back activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome there. Go now!
All right.
To my body? Okay. Body, here we come. How you doing? Oh, on my something. What to me it's the Halo thing. Oh, okay.
Where did she fall from? Her body's smashed to talk. It's a wonder she's still breathing.
All I saw was the corona, not her origin point.
Her,
Look, she's healing already.
Duplicates?
Spontaneous regeneration.
Yeah, know that face. Just knock them over. Ugh. What was that? What did you do? Calistitch? Calistitch? Is that how you say it? Why was there voice acting? Now there's no voice acting. I want voice acting. Ugh. Ugh. What was that? What did you do, Calistitch? His tone has become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is his man's kaleidoscope of tattoos riding across his forearms. He wears a long dark coat belted at the waist, supplies filling the pockets. His boots are worn and stained with years of travel. You blame me? She emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastical healing process. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was. Never mind. You blame me. She emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Allergern. Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure that you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimuli that you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remain constant throughout these shadows. Oh yes, it's obvious, Kalistitch. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal. We know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. Scan dots. She's the changing god. She's a changing god. Kelsey is deliberately blinding herself. But why? Scanning thoughts is the best. I love it. I can think we can sort of answer that question, but you know, let's just pick that one. You built the dome. Don't you recognize it? He growls. You know she's not the changing god, Allegern. Allegern being more paranoid than usual. How long must I put up with him? It's her face! I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changing god could have healed so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you can help me for a change. You know what this means to me? You're familiar with the word changing, Allegern. It implies inconstancy? Words. Thus the changing god may well have changed. Saw versions of her shrug, and she addresses you. You'll have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Her most solid self curtsies, while others bow her spin. I and my sisters am Kalisage. This is Allegern. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a cast-off. The changing god created you, body and mind. Your sire used your body for a time, then abandoned it for reasons of his own. When his mind departed for a new experience, you were born in this cast-off shell. I used a cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed an ordinary person. But think about it, if you're the kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do? If you've considered bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever. You're not going to let your life end by an accident. No, you'll make strong bodies, fast, powerful, and maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. The changing god has always been vain. He rarely stays long in a shell that doesn't suit his self-image. She goes up and down, her smile is suddenly unnerving. Perhaps the changing god fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. If he abandoned your body, then his consciousness, can I speak the English, fled to another. He eyes you keenly. Oh, do stop! The look she gives Allegern is equally piercing, amplified by the withering glares of her sisters. If there's one thing we know about the changing god, dear, is that he always has a contingency. This child was born here. The object of your obsession will have been reborn somewhere else. You mean aside from your miraculous reformation? For one thing, there's your tattoo. All cast-offs have one, though its purpose is beyond me. And then, of course, there's your delicious naivety. I don't know if you pronounce it, but whatever. Naivety? Probably. She could be faking it. You don't live hundreds of years without learning to lie convincingly. Oh, She sighs in exasperation, then says to you, what do you think? Are you a newborn child, or are you a powerful immortal whom death has robbed of his memories? Allegern presses on the growls. Fine, what do you think? This should be interesting. I did it fall. I could go for 3, I could go for 4, I guess. But then again, that's sort of like making me sound like a. Nah, I'll go for this one. Niggas get shifted. That is just the kind of question he would ask. He scrutinizes you in a way he hadn't before. You carry yourself with the same arrogance, the glint of knowing everything about our world and the world, but before it, your personality, that very much the same. Blue Tide raised a small amount. If you're not him, you're his god's. What? Yeah, okay. Damned spitting image. He spits as if to emphasize a point. You'll have a lot to answer for from a lot of people. People like me. And what are you basing that conclusion on, Allergen? Your feelings? He looks away and his composure slips a little. Gods, you're so rancid sometimes, Calistage. Is it correct? Calistage? 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 Calistage. Calistage. As I was telling my colleague, it was obviously a physiological reaction of some kind. I've never witnessed the birth of a cast-off, but yes, it could very well have been caused by your nascent consciousness. Don't worry, I don't believe it caused any real harm. Not to me, at least. Really? You've been more Britain than ever since we came in here. He shoots her a sidelong look. She can't just empathize with other people unless she's experimenting on them. If it did, it was damage in our minds. Though, how do you check if it carked her? I couldn't say. Tough to find normalcy here. At least we know it didn't hurt Allergen. That skull's as thick as organic stone. Powerful and beautiful, each one likely an improvement over the last. I'm curious what you're capable of, child. I suppose we'll find out. I've heard that term before, a subject your sire studied in Druid Death. I'm afraid it isn't my field of inquiry. Of course, child. You must be so disoriented. Dozens, hundreds, who can say? Your sire's been doing this for several centuries. Though if any of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's a wonder any of them survive. Ha! That's something coming from you. She gives him a sidelong glance. The changing god is your sire, dear. He discovered a path to immortality long ago, a means to transfer his self to a new body of his own creation. I don't think he knew, however, that when he abandoned one body, another mind was birthed to fill the void. Oh, he knew alright. He eyes you up and down coldly. The only thing the king god cares about is himself. He doesn't give a single thought for those he leaves behind. He sees it as experiments, not humans. We know our creator through legend and research. He's taken the form of men, women, visitants, and other things. His form is fluid, all his name suggests. But the story of the Virgin God always referred to him. It's easier. Aldrin shrugs. You are a woman. The Virgin God is himself. His voice is calm, but his voice is bitter and tired. You should know, shouldn't you? You've ruined lives, committed crimes, and now it seems like you've forgotten the harms you've engineered. You left a trail of the dead and dying behind you. She and her echo share an expression that is equal parts amused and appalled. She's not the changing god, Aligern. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised that that's all you saw. An excellent question. Having seen your regenerative abilities in action, I suspect that they are primarily physical, of regrowth. If that's the case, be unable to survive most varieties of psychic or molecular decomposition, disintegration, conflagration, and so forth. Degenerative diseases could pose a problem, and I know of several entities capable of psychic destruction. As she speaks, a vision flashes into your mind. It's not yours exactly. Somehow you know this is a memory of the cheating gods. You are in a dark room, lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms from the many machines surrounding you. What a body! Oh my gosh! What about a body that can withstand the Sorrow's attacks? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No! You reply. The thing has no respect for barriers of any kind. Physical, temporal, psychic. This is the only way. With a series of gestures, you bring up an image of a crystalline pod. If the resonance chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the Sorrow's hunt once and for all. We just need the right focal point, a catalyst. The memory fades. Catalyst is still talking. You realize that the device you saw in your memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks just like the Spectre had described it, a transparent sarcophagus inside a crystalline dome with mechanical arms arrayed around it on a metal ring. Unfortunately, the dome is shattered and the sarcophagus is cracked, and one of the arms is in pieces on the floor. Whatever its function, it clearly needs repair. Or flesh-eating viruses, one presumes disfigurement by the iron wind would likewise be devastating enough to... I think she gets the point, Kazich. I saw you stare into this space with Kazich. Graphically described all the ways you could die, but that's about it. He snorts. I only noticed because I did the same thing. I've had my share of sorrows, but never the sorrow. What's that, a disease? Her mouth compresses into a tight line. I know nothing about it. A symptom of your sire's. The company believes that he has several such places at the ninth world, possibly other worlds as well. We were only just able to gain entry to this place, to this one, because of a grand entrance.
Making a note.
Aligern chuckles. Then firm and certain, he says. Not likely, though it might not be impossible. You need people with the appropriate knowledge. I'm sure the cult of the Changing God will hold the answer. Her distaste is evident in the expressions of her echoes, although the face of the one in the lead remains carefully impassive. You turn to the insane to help a newborn? Where's your judgment, Aligern? I will take her to the Order of Truth. The Order of Truth? Are you mad? They would soon take us apart. Knowledge seekers. What? Knowledge seekers. The learned who try to wrest secrets from the hearts of the prior worlds. They gather in the city to exchange their findings and help humanity to build a brighter future. She smiles brightly. Our friend Aligern here was once one of them. Frauds, quacksalvers, and charlatans. They don't have all the answers, and I do not trust them with the Changing God secrets. You're just angry that he couldn't help you with yours. Her echoes tinkle laughter. But I am being too cruel, deal Aligern. Let's take our new friend to the Order. Despite what she says, they're not insane. They're eccentrics. She does, but he soldiers on. They're worshippers of well, of you, or your sire, the changing god. They devote their lives to the understanding your kind. Wait. So I can go with Calistage, go with Allergen, or or pick my own route. You know, I don't know why I'm like leaning onto Allergen, but that echo on Calistage, I sort of want to hear more about her. Like what's the deal with her? So, oh, this is a whole log. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. You know what? College. Of course. Once I provide an introduction to the priest, we'll have your treatment fixed in no time. You'll end up with your clothes and broken into in a ditch while she laughs it off as a good experiment. It's probably best I come with you as well. Suspicious as always, Allergen. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it is full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you to safely to where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A sunny smile across her face. I hear to think what I might do to the child. Okay. I won't deny that you are an exciting find, but it's not about that. I just want to see you safely out of the reef. Who knows what secrets this child could help me find if I could help her live long enough. Kid, you're not safe here, and not just because you're new. Treasure hunters trawl the reef. Scavengers who would sell you for parts if they knew where you came from, what you were. If she's not a genius god, she needs my help, and if she is, you've gained your first companions. They will follow the last cast off and can control their passes. You can speak to them about their passes and take advantage of their unique abilities and skills. Okay, cool. Companions have their own motivations and personalities, and depending on the choices you make, they may not follow you forever. Oh man, you may find more companions who can join you. You'll find item equipment and more to assist you. When you are ready, you can lead a broken dome using the stairs to the northeast. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be leaving it off there on the beautiful game that is Torment. Didn't think I would call a game called Torment beautiful, but hey, it's there. How y'all doing? So, it's been awesome, folks, to stream again, and maybe I'll take the time to actually upload this to YouTube. And now at 9:30, make my caffeine because I'm just that psychotic. Y'all take care, God bless, and hope to stream again soon for you folks. Goodbye.